What's up, guys? Swimbo here. Hope you're all doing well. Today's day 23 of no ZYN. And 5 days will be 4 weeks already, and then 30 days I'm considering that the month point. But yeah, I worked 11 to 7 today, and then after that, at my second job, I worked 8:30 to 1. I said 1:30. Geez, there was one night I actually did that. But I worked 8:30 to 10:30. So yeah, it's my second week of my second job. I mentioned this, like, I think I mentioned it at least. I definitely mentioned it in person, like some of my friends, and like even thought this to myself. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a chance I didn't mention this on camera, but anyway, I feel like when you give up bad habits that you're struggling with, eventually better things come your way. Like, for me, it was a second job. Now, obviously, both the jobs I have are not my ideal job, but the first job I have was cool, but I needed more money, so I got a second job. And last week was the first week of my second job. So now I'm working around 60 hours a week. Now tomorrow, I actually have an interview for a job that's pretty well paying. I'm not gonna say the pay because it's personal, but if I get this one job that I have the interview for tomorrow, that means I can quit both jobs I have currently and still make more than I would be making currently. So if you're watching this, wish me luck that I get this job. But yeah, not a bad day. I'm really tired. I also have I mentioned in my last video, I have some good news. Obviously, the interview is like good news, and if I get the job, that's great news. But I actually have some other, even bigger news that I think I'm going to announce when it happens. So make sure to stay tuned for that. I definitely have a lot of cool stuff in the works and on the way. But anyway, I'm getting kind of sidetracked. The withdrawals, I think I'm past all the physical stuff besides the brain fog. Definitely, like, focusing can be a little bit more difficult sometimes. But you know, I definitely do have a lot of mental, like, back and forth during the day, like a lot of mood swings still, irritation, anger, anxiety, stuff like that doesn't really go away. I just find other ways to cope with it, like mentally speaking, of course. So, but I will say, even though the mental withdrawals are still there, it's not nearly as bad as it was like the first week, and even the second week was pretty rough too. The first week was rough with physical and mental withdrawals, but second week I feel like the mental withdrawals were probably just as bad, if not maybe even worse. It's hard to say than the previous week, but right now barely any physical withdrawals, if any, and mental withdrawals are 50-50. So not perfect, but definitely a step in the right direction, and it could be a lot worse. So yeah, thank you guys for the support. It really does mean a lot, and I'll see you guys. Peace.